One. Hello, chefs. Good evening. We're back again. I'm Isaiah, the young Jedi chef, here with the Dragon Warrior chef, German Lamb, and the Phoenix Warrior chef, Noreen. We will be your host for today's podcast. You are listening to a unique podcast where we will discuss tough yet real topics that need to be heard in the industry. In this podcast, you will hear the truth real, raw, and unfiltered. Today, we have the honor of having health industry professional Adam with us to talk about how to maintain good health and why it is so important in our daily lives. I'm excited to get started and jump right in. So without further ado, I'll let the star of our show, our guest, Adam, introduce himself. Adam.
Thank you, Isaiah. Yes, my name's Adam Healy. I've been in the health and wellness industry probably longer than I'd like to admit, but over 20 years, we'll just say. Various roles from customer service to youth programming, sales, and I've been, managing and operating health clubs for, like I said, almost 2 decades now. So it's a topic I'm passionate about, trying to help people more than anything just get moving, to just be more active, and then hopefully, leading to for my business sake, some ventures over to our community and understanding what we can provide to help people reach their health and wellness goals.
Well, thank you so much, Adam, for your introduction. Definitely, your industry is super important to us and to everybody, really. It's what keeps us going, what keeps us moving. So thank you so much for everything you do. So as hospitality professionals, our image and well-being can mean the world when it comes to how we perform inside and outside of our professional careers. Food and exercise are the driving forces that can either lead us to prosperity or destruction in the lives that we live. This is why it is extremely important to know the do's and don'ts when it comes to what you put in your body and how you treat your body. Most people desire to live a healthy life, fulfilling life, but are unsure of how to do so. So it's important to know the first step. So this will lead us to our first question. How can someone begin their journey to living a healthy lifestyle? What are some good first steps, and who can they look for support? Adam, do you want to get started? Start us off?
Yeah, sure. From the exercise point of view, the thing I already touched on, in my introduction is just to really get moving. Just start moving. The reality in our industry knows this is the vast majority of people are just not going to join a health club. They're not going to walk through our doors. They're not going to get the services we can provide. But there's still so many opportunities to just make that first step to move, to get started. Just go for a walk, a bike ride, choose the stairs, instead of the elevator one time. I mean, these things, they seem trivial, but they're not. They're the beginning of reculturing your brain to go, hey, I want to move. Like, I need to move. I need to be more active. And then those lead to more, activity based things, recreation based things, and maybe eventually do lead you to the health club or the gym. But that's really it. We make excuses and try to make it too big and too hard to move, exercise, and it's really just not. We're meant to be moving creatures, and we have to just allow ourselves to do that, to try whatever we can try. So that's certainly my first pointer I say to people. And then the second one is, once you get that going, be realistic about how much time you have to dedicate to that, and don't overextend yourself. Everyone talks about when they come see us at the club, great, I'm going to be there 5 days a week, at least an hour each session. And we look at them and we have to be real with them and go, okay, well, where do you go now for 5 times a week for an hour that you really enjoy? Like, you're not even exercising. That's just too big a leap. Can you give us 20 minutes? Can you give us 30 minutes? Can you give us that definitively one day a week where you're not going to say, no, I'm not doing that? And that's the key to really, for most people who don't live and breathe this stuff, getting started is just, okay, all I have to give is 20 minutes, 30 minutes once a week. Then they'll actually do that. And then maybe it'll become, hey, well, I'm there anyway, or I'm walking anyway. I'm going to turn this into a 40-minute walk or a 40-minute session at your health club or your gym. And then maybe it turns into twice a week. Once again, you're building on that. And that's what's realistic. We put far too much pressure on ourselves to have to, right away hit that top end goal.
Yeah, I really love all the points that you touched on, but one that really stood out to me was when you said taking the stairs instead of the elevator. You know, those small steps make a big difference. And even at the gym, I see people taking the elevator up to do a workout. I'm like, might as well just take the stairs. You're gonna work out anyways. It's those small things that make a huge difference and really switch your mindset to okay, I need to be more active. So thank you so much, Adam. Those are really, really good points. Noreen or Chef Lam, any points?
I really love the what you said, Adam, about having, I'll call them small portion goals. Because that is something I think that's very helpful for me. And a lot of people in my group that we work a lot of hours. So to say that I'm gonna go to the gym every day, like you said, 5 days out of the week for a 2 hour mega workout, realistically, number one, I don't really have a big passion to do that. And number two, is it going to be sustainable 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months without building up to it? So yeah, I can do 30 minutes of exercise, and doing different types of activities I think is also very helpful. So it doesn't have to be going to the gym and lifting weights. It can be a Pilates class. It can be going for a run on the beach. It can be playing pickup soccer with a group of friends from work. Things like that, and incorporating that into your lifestyle will help you continue doing those activities for many years to come. Something I love to do is to swim, and it's something that I know I can take into the later years of my life. So it's something I see as a life goal, that I want to swim multiple times a week. So seeing it as more, this is going to be good for me in my life in terms of my wellness and my balance, instead of it being, I want to do this workout so I can lose this amount of weight in this amount of time. It's not really a healthy mindset around building that goal. So I think the mindset around it as well can be very helpful.
Yeah, I love what you said, Noreen. Like you said, just doing the small things. Even like you said, if it's 30 minutes a day, you don't have to do too extravagant things. Just something small every day, or even a few times a week, makes a big difference in your life. You know, it's better than something than nothing at all. Chef Lamb, I know you have a lot to add to this. First steps.
Well, I would say this, listening to Adam and think about the industry that he's in, he sees a lot, right? Then I'll use analogy as a chef. I'm wearing the white jacket, and the white jacket has certain philosophy and principles from day one, and safety, respect, and sanitation. Then what does that really mean? Well, you have to figure that out. What do you want to invest in yourself? And in our profession, you're talking about hours, you talk about you're always on your feet, you're always moving, your pattern of sleeping, eating, it's really upside down. But that is the beauty of any industry. You have to go through the good, bad, and ugly. Then you have to find out, okay, what really works for me? An example for me, when I started off, hey, martial arts was part of me. Working out, going to the gym was part of me already. So it's something that I realized, you know what? It releases a lot of pressure. It clears your mind. It makes you think better, then think about being punctual at work, being able to sustain the environment and culture of the kitchen. So for me, understanding body, mind, spirit, and food. So for me, it's something like, meeting someone like Adam, and especially, the program that he offers, it's like, for someone's like, oh my God, this is like a walking encyclopedia. You have these instructors who are knowledgeable, but then someone like myself, I go there, I'm like, all right, you got all these different toys, different machines, and from there, you just got to figure out, what's important to you at this journey. And this will be infinity. It will never end. So as you start, it's going to take you places where you can even imagine. But once you start, it's going to come at you. So, embrace the journey, have fun with it.
Yeah, I love that last point. Have fun with the journey, and don't. Because a lot of people, when they go to the gym, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta do this. No, have fun with it. Bring a buddy with you. It's something that'll motivate you. Bring some headphones, listen to some music. The gym is supposed to be something where you could have fun and still get your life together and get moving. So thank you so much for that insight. Taking the first step is super important, but as people often do, after the first step, we tend to get discouraged or we tend to stop if we don't feel like the results are coming instantly. Discipline is super important part of the process, and it's super important in your health journey as well. It is important to keep your mind on your goals and stay committed. How do you stay disciplined and committed to your health and fitness journey? What motivates you, and what do you do when you begin to lose motivation? Adam, do you want to start us off?
Sure. And I think it ties in perfectly with what Chef Lamb was just saying, is that this is a journey. And I think it's important for people to understand that, discipline and structure, that's a journey too. I mean, your life is going to have all kinds of twists and turns. And I do think in my industry, I hear this all the time from members who are just beating themselves up because, oh, I haven't been here in a week. I haven't been here in a month. I haven't been here in 2 months. It's like, yeah, well, you do have a life. Like, we would love you to spend all your time at Waverly Oaks Athletic, but yeah, life is going to twist and turn, and it's okay. And I think it's important for people to recognize when that's happening. Now, you want to steer the journey back to health and wellness. You want to be able to exercise, eat properly, all those kind of things. But what you can't do is let a temporary lack of discipline, or just that discipline waning because of other circumstances, turn into the long term, turn into a real negative change to where now your path is on a really bad, place. And so I think that's a key point I try to make to people. Just be okay with sometimes, it's gonna go off track, but bring it back on. If you have to start small again, start small again. That's okay, but you're starting again and you're back on that journey. So that's the part of it, like from the discipline side. Motivation, yeah, that's, we talk a lot about, here as a team, we use the book It Starts With Why, the Simon Sinek, and it's a business book, but it really is, it's a life book. Like, the why is what's gonna get you to do anything. If it doesn't have real value to you, deep value to you, you're not going to do it. So for me, again, exercise is personal. For me, the motivation is, look, I'm an older dad. I have now a 7-year-old son who's starting soccer, who's playing basketball. I have older children who played soccer and did martial arts. And so for me, it's literally been basically the last 20-year motivation to, teach my children the value of movement and exercise and have fun and be active. And so, it's motivation to me now that I don't want my 7-year-old son, I don't want to be the 50-plus-year-old dad who sort of cashed it in and go, no, I did that already. Like, no, like, I got to stay moving. I got to stay active. My little guy deserves me out there with him. So that's where I'm at motivationally. And that's my why, because, again, I don't want other, I know the younger dads are out there, but, I want them looking at me going, man, like, that guy's got it going. Okay, I guess we got to do it too. So.
Yeah, I love your point on finding your why and knowing your why, because I think, like you said, your why is what keeps you going. It's what keeps you motivated. When you get discouraged, okay, why am I doing this? All right, let me get back on track. So I think that's super important, and family is definitely a good motivation for that. Chef Lamb or Noreen?
Yeah, the why is really it. Why, the mindset I think I was mentioning before, and why you're there, what you're doing it for, is really what brings me back, and recenters me when I have difficulty being committed to a goal. And having support, like in the last little tidbit we were talking about, having a support group, support person. It can be a workout buddy, it can be a good friend that knows your goals and wants to support you. It can be someone from a fitness class, maybe a fitness class, or a pickup sport on the weekends is one of the ways you get active. Lean on those people as well, and remembering that it's not necessarily going to be for today, but it's for tomorrow, is why we stay active. It may not be a change that you see in yourself today, but tomorrow you'll wake up and be like, wow, I really did that yesterday. And you know what? I can do it today. And months down the line, you find yourself aligning, hopefully with a better, better health and better wellness. And it keeps your mind sharp, and just remembering the important things, the positive things that it brings can be helpful too.
Yeah, I love that point on it's about the tomorrow. It's about your future. You know, a lot of people, oh, it won't affect me today, but then years from now, they have all these health problems, they, you know, all this and that, and it's like, oh, how did I get here? Well, it's because you said I'm gonna push it off. I'm not gonna do it today, and that's how you got there. And it could work the other way too. It could, you know, now you're in shape, you're feeling good, you're looking good. You're like, wow, look at me now. It's kind of like, okay, because I made that small decision today to do something about tomorrow. So I love that point, Chef Lamb.
Whoa, you know what? The why, disease, a cancer warrior. And think about the C word. It dominates the whole world every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. It does not go away. So I look at it as 24/7, right? And 24/7 meaning that is your opponent. And your opponent is coming at you, and your opponent has one goal. And now it's up to you to say, all right, if you want to live and enter the country club of 100 years old, you know, hanging out with your grandkids and hanging around with your kids, then you got to get these hands dirty. You know, you got to eat some food maybe. I know you don't like the texture, you don't do this, but you're doing it. Why? Because you need medicine for you to fight your opponent. But for me, it's something like, you know what? Your body is going to say, thank you. Thank you for giving me a present, you know? So when you go to the gym, you get a lot of love. You get so much love, and you get bonus, you know, you get extra points, and it continues. And you know what Adam says, well, if you miss, your body's gonna tell you. So there's a conscience in you, right? So the thing is, you want to play, you're gonna pay. So that's the beautiful thing about this health and wellness. It's like you're an adult, and once you become accountable, everything falls in place. And now you create your recipe. And as a chef who wears a jacket, that's what we do. We learn, we study the art of other people's benchmark of how do they approach it. But then to a point, the training wheels are off. Now it becomes yours.
Yeah, I like that. You got to embrace your own journey. And like you said, disease is definitely a big motivation for that. And defeating disease is through good food and through good healthy exercise. So thank you so much for all that advice. Now my favorite part, story time. So with this next question, at what point in your life did you decide that you needed to get on the right track with your health and wellness? Did you notice an immediate difference, or did it take you to a while to notice any changes in your life and the way that your body felt? Adam, do you want to get us started with this?
Yeah, you know, this was an interesting question. I was sort of thinking about it, some of my life experiences, and was there something that triggered it in me? And the honest answer for me is I don't know if there was a particular like life motivation for me, which is fortunate. Now, I watched my father, who was a very active person, wound up with a very rare form of multiple sclerosis and degenerative, and just unfortunately, little by little, lost all his mobility and his strength, and even trying to fight against it. So I'm sure subconsciously that sort of planted in my brain the need for me to always keep moving. And I don't deny that fact, but it's really just, you know, I look at, okay, like, and that's why I'm in recreation. I've just always wanted to be doing stuff. Like I like playing sports. I like sometimes again using the gym. You know, I like walking my dog. You know, anything. You know, I've always like I've never seen health and wellness as a chore, and at the same time, I've never really seen it as like essential because it just is for me. Like it's just part of who I am. Now I do look at it for the future. You know, one of the bigger motivations beyond my children is okay, I've dedicated my life to inspiring others, my family, and all the members of my club to be active and live, you know, more, you know, better lives, more well lives. When I get to the point where it's going to be my time, I want to make sure I'm able to do that. I've given so much to the members, I've given so much to this industry to develop places where people can achieve that goal. Well, I got to keep that goal in mind. So when it's my time to eventually just be a member or, you know, just have time to myself, that I can still golf or play some soccer or run around with the grandkids, as Chef Lamb said. I want to be at that Century Club, but I don't want to just get to the Century Club. Like, I want to be active in the Century Club because I've earned it. I've helped everybody else get there now when it's my time. So, I think that's just an overall life vision that I have that motivates me. And that's just kind of been there my entire life, to just stay as well as I can, because I want to be a vibrant part
Mhm.
of life.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that point. It's part of your identity. It's part of like who you are, staying healthy, staying fit and staying active. I love it. Noreen or Chef Lamb?
Sure. Pardon me. I think I think every year I do a stock of how I feel, my health and wellness, and I think every year I set a new goal to put me on a better track. But when we're talking about one specific moment that maybe started all of that, I think was early my freshman year of college. And I have always had sleeping kind of like sleep issues, very difficult for me to fall asleep and stay asleep. And I just wasn't taking stock of my sleeping, and I was like sleepwalking, I had sleep paralysis. It was very wild experience. And I just decided, I was like, this is not normal. I can't continue on like this. Like, I'm half asleep during class. I'm not sleeping at night. I feel like I'm always a zombie. There has to be something I need to do. So, I did a lot of research and I connected with the right people to get me on a good sleep hygiene. And, a lot of things fell into place after that. But that was something that I found an immediate difference after a few weeks of being very strict and consistent with myself. And it was something as, it's something I think we take for granted as sleep, and it's a very important part of our health and wellness. And you can't really be active during the day if you're not sleeping well. You're not giving your body the chance to recover. So that was very significant for me, and it's something I take care of until today, and hopefully for many years to come.
Yeah, definitely sleep is super important, and it's essential to life. And without sufficient sleep, then you can't function at all properly. So great point, Noreen. Chef Lamb.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go into the dark side and think about your generation of, donning the white jacket, think about the Chef Boyardee. I was like, whoa, I'm not going to look like a Chef Boyardee. So you got to do things. You have to have discipline, structure of your eating habits, right? Then another point is people, become alcoholic. Then suddenly they become drug addicts, not because they're weak, is that, they have this time and suddenly they take something and suddenly it makes you go, woo, makes you feel good, right? So the best feeling is the reason why I'm talking about that, and think about right now, vaping. Woo! I look at them like, okay, you know what that happens? One puff, it's like smoking, right? The C word comes in. So it's really understanding what's at stake. And to me, I think far as like this is where like mentoring really comes in play. And it's like being a parent, and parent says, hey, you have one shot, you don't have a second chance. And once you put something into your body, it's very hard to get out of it. You can't get out of it. It's like the C word. No matter how many, 6,000 push-ups I do, sit-ups and running, marathoning, eating organic, whatever, it doesn't take it away. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, so what am I going to do to really have my mental state? You got to be an amazing person. You got to help others. And one way, like what Adam said, the gym is really not about you. It's about helping other, members that are there, because we are at a different stage, and different stages like cooking. You share, and once you share that, that person is going to activate and go, I got it. And that's it. And when they got it, they're going to be doing things and you're be like, oh my God, you look amazing. So, that's where I started from.
Yeah, I like what you said about not wanting to look like a certain image, and seeing what you want for yourself. That's super important. And also, like you said about the gym is about community too. Helping other people, inspiring other people, and motivating other people is super, super important. So thank you for sharing all your stories with us. It is moving to hear that living true life of health and wellness is possible. As a hospitality professional, I believe that food is life, and that what you eat has a direct effect on how you perform. Eating the right types of food can have many benefits to you and also fuel your body. What health conscious foods do you eat? What are your favorites to eat, and what do you cook at home? Adam?
Yes, this is tough company for me to be in now. Now I'm swimming in the deep water now with guys. I want to stay where I can take you guys into the deep water. But for me, I'm not a chef. I can cook, but there's a big difference, obviously, between cooking and being a chef. What I try to do, especially as all of us are super busy and all those things that get in the way from really eating healthy, is try to find simple life hacks to be a little bit more conscious about food and make the right choices. So obviously we eat a lot of chicken. One of those hacks is, look, realistically, we buy probably a couple rotisserie chickens every week so that at least we know, okay, that's prepared. It's chicken. It's a better choice than a lot of other things out there. Okay. Like we have to be okay with that if we didn't have time to prepare the food ourselves. But personally, I love to grill, and it's one of those situations where we eat more vegetables and even fruits in the summer when we're grilling. Grilling up pineapple, zucchini, squash. Like, it's easy, it's fun, it's good for you. And even making the choices like, okay, like looking for the leaner cuts of meat and those kind of things, those little choices to go, okay, I can still have steak, but instead of paying a lot of money to go out and have a steak, I'll spend a lot of money on a better product and make it myself. And so, real life choices, to hopefully incorporate, better nutrition, along with, the activity to live a better lifestyle. But I certainly I'm going to take some of the advice from the experts I'm about to hear from so I can throw into my daily and weekly routine.
No, that was great. That was a great answer, Adam. You definitely, even like you said, if it's a rotisserie chicken, if it's that leaner choice of protein, grilling those vegetables, making it into an experience is what it's about. Noreen, what's your health food go to? What do you cook at home?
Yeah, no, I talk about it all the time. Lentils. I love lentils. I eat them all the time. I love them with rice. I like them. You can crisp them, make them crispy in the oven, and they're a great salad topper. I love lentil soup. It's something like I grew up eating a lot in Egyptian culture. So it's a whole fruit, whole legume or pulse. It has fiber, lots of minerals, good amount of protein, and they're super cheap and very versatile, which I love. So that's something I incorporate. And also I like whole grains. So even if I'm having, something as simple as a sandwich, it's so easy to take for lunch at work. I'll do whole wheat, whole grain bread, even like whole rye. I like that as well. So little things like that can make a difference because they add up at the end of the week. I have lunch every day, and I do breakfast every day as well. And just having something as simple as whole grain toast and a couple eggs instead of bacon and sausage and pancakes and sugary cereal. Those little decisions every day are what add up to make a big difference. So yes,
Yeah, definitely gotta.
lentils are my thing. I love lentils.
Lentils are the best. I definitely gotta agree with you though on that, where we make those decisions every day. Okay, pancakes, eggs, bacon, that's the typical American breakfast, but we don't realize that that's what adds up to all the problems that we have. And choosing those foods that that are nutritionally beneficial to you makes so much of a difference. Like you said with the lentils, something that's whole, nutritious, very good. You want most of the things that you should eat should be at its most natural state. So when you have those refined grains and stuff like that, it definitely deteriorates what it's supposed to be. So most natural form is definitely the best way to go. Chef Lamb?
Oh my God, do I have a story? It's like working out. Working out, there are so many variations, and everyone talked about, this is where I go, right? Eating is the same way, right? I look at it as you have the 5 food groups, and they're powerful. But when you put them together and they interact and they connect 24/7, oh my God, you are like you having like atomic bomb in your body that you're planting seeds and it's growing. But to get there, I would say this, right? I'm so blessed and fortunate that I had great mentors that taught me the philosophy and principle of cooking. Because now, when I eat, there's never a boring day. You know, there's never a day where, because there's always love. And that's something that my parents taught me, that when it comes to eating, it's sacred, it's private, and you play it, there's no rewind. And think about that. And when you're serving food to your family, they're gonna look at you like, Mom, Dad, oh my God, that was the best scrambled egg. That was the best, tuna melt that you made. That was the best meatloaf that you made, right? And I really learned it's like going to the gym, right? Going to the gym is one time. So it's really not about how much time you're there, is are you there in the present, in your muscles? You have to feel, right? And there's one thing about eating, it does require a lot of mind, because you got to think about, I got to fabricate it, I got to clean it, then I got to cook it, then I got to sit down. And by the time you're like, that's a lot of time. There's a reason why, fast food is so popular. But fast food has a purpose. So to you, you got to say to yourself, well, for me, being an Iron Man 24/7 is beautiful, right? But you have to figure out, you could be the turtle along the way. But it's all starts here of how do you want to envision yourself? And that is something that, but you got to put in work and think about clothes. Oh my God. I open the closet, I'm like, I want to wear that for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Well, then I got to do sit-ups, right? I got to do push-ups. I got to run, If I don't, then that beautiful outfit that I have, I got to donate it to someone. Then I got to buy something else. And I'm like, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, definitely a motivation when you can't wear that stuff you used to wear no more. Definitely super important to know, like you said, the image that you want to be perceived as. Super, super important. So we have about 3 minutes left. 30 seconds, real quick. Adam, we'll start off with you. Last minute advice that you could give to anyone that's seeking a healthy lifestyle.
Just start. That's it. I mean, that's my advice. Just pick something, start, get the journey going, and you'll be amazed where it'll take you. I think Chef Lamb touched on that. Like, it could take you places you don't imagine it'll be. For a lot of people, they don't imagine it'll ever be a health club, but maybe I'll see you, and just get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam. Get started. Noreen, any last minute 30 advice?
That was exactly what I was going to say. Just start. Just take the stairs at work when you're parking. Park far away when you go shopping, and just walk. Just little things to reprogram your brain. There are a million decisions we make every day. Just change one of them. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Noreen. Chef Lamb, last
Well,
minute advice.
end of the year, the new year, don't say New Year resolution. Call it a habit and part of me, of a lifestyle, and refine it and keep refining it. And you'll figure out, whoa, so it's like a diamond in the rough. You are a diamond in the rough, and you deserve love. But to get love requires a lot of heartbroken. And that's when you understand how to build that body, mind, spirit, and food. You have to be broken before you could build something so precious that if it breaks again, no problem. You keep rebuilding it, So that is the beauty of health and wellness. It doesn't stay the same. You got to keep learning new routine, because there's so much knowledge out there.
Yeah, I love that point. You got to be broken to be built back up. And diamonds are made under pressure. So you gotta just put in the work and and make it happen. So I love that. So thank you again for being a part of this call. This call will not only impact the ones listening, but will also impact those that are connected to them. Here on this call, we have made history and have helped lead the way for our future. Thank you for listening, and see you again on the next call. Thank you so much.